Alright guys, I know you're all here to watch me react to bad webtoons, and don't worry, we've got more of those on the way. However, this video is gonna be a little different. See, I found this USB drive in my mailbox yesterday and it was kinda weird. It only had one thing, which was a video about me? Very peculiar video too, because like, none of the things in the video are true. But it looks well researched? I don't know, but that's why I've got you guys here to give me your thoughts. Anyways, I'll stop wasting time and just let you guys watch the video in question, see what you guys think.
Hey there everyone, it's your guy Dogman here, bringing you all some more top quality Iceberg videos. You guys all remember Chalupa, right? For those of you who live under a rock, this guy was basically a massive YouTuber that co-created a series called the Chalupa Cinematic Universe. This thing was one of the most successful and prolific web series of all time. With millions of views, subscribers, and dollars coming in, nothing seemed to be able to slow him down. But then one day, he just disappeared, leaving his channel and series to his good friends Spooky and Pydro to continue. Due to the nature of how he left, the information surrounding Chalupa has only been conspiratorial in nature, and multiple icebergs have been made about him. Here, I found the best possible one I could find, that goes from his humble beginnings all the way to conspiracy theories about him. For those of you who don't know what iceberg videos are, they're basically a bunch of topics of a certain subject that are divided into layers. The top of the iceberg are things that are common knowledge, while the bottom are things that are more obscure and even creepy. Alright then, I think you guys know everything you need to know. Now, let's begin. Layer 1. Horror narrations. Chalupa started out his channel by doing horror narrations. These videos would range from creepypastas to even allegedly true horror stories. At the time of starting his channel, Chalupa was actually only 12 years old, and as such, his voice was relatively high-pitched. To compensate for this, he used the voice changer and edited his voice in post. This aside, one thing he had that separated him from the other horror reading YouTubers is that he uploaded visualizations to some of the stories he narrated, essentially pioneering the animated horror stories genre. These videos exploded in popularity, and they amassed him a large following, while also being one of the faces of the horror narration genre on YouTube. This was alongside YouTubers like Mr. Night Scare, Sir Creepypasta, hell, even Lord Fear. While this content was what first popularized him, he eventually stopped making them in favor of making the CCU, which we'll get into later. Spooky. Spooky is one of Chalupa's closest friends and one of the founding members of Chalupa Studios. Before doing that, he wrote various memorable and downright well-written creepypastas. Some of his stories include Appalachia, a multi-part story about a hiker's mind-bending journey through the Appalachian Trail. Apartment 79, a short story about a pizza delivery boy getting called to the same address over and over. And he even took the time to rewrite Sonic.exe, giving the story much needed depth and backstory, so it wasn't just your usual run-of-the-mill edgy creepypasta. The Sonic.exe remake was so well received that even the original creator of Sonic, JC, promoted the work, praising Spooky for his writing ability, and even stating it was the definitive Sonic.exe. With this promotion and appraisal, Spooky also amassed a following for his writing ability. This in turn caused Chalupa to read his stories on his channel, benefiting both creators in the long run. Chalupa and Spooky's collab. Chalupa and Spooky first met when Mr. Night Scare collaborated with the Amoeba app to open up his own Amoeba, with the vast majority of the creepypasta community flocking to it. Chalupa and Spooky very quickly became friends after encountering each other there, and from there on out they would go on to have a collaboration creepypasta that would be released on Chalupa's own channel. Since Chalupa read various creepypastas written by Spooky, they decided to do a role reversal, where Spooky would read the creepypasta that Chalupa wrote. This collaboration was very well received, However, Chalupa's creepypasta was criticized for apparently having too many jokes. From there on out, nonetheless, the two would continue to collaborate, and eventually they became pretty good business partners together. Pydro. Pydro is another one of Chalupa's close friends, and one of the founding members of Chalupa Studios. He actually met Spooky first, through Amoeba, as Spooky was looking for an artist for his creepypastas. From there, he would go on to make official art for Spooky's creepypastas, adding on to the legacy that these stories have built up. Shortly after, Spooky introduced him to his good friend Chalupa, impressed with his work. One thing led to another, and soon enough, Pydro became the head artist for the CCU, creating thumbnails, concept art, character stills, and anything else that would require art. The CCU. On May 5th, 2018, Chalupa announced that he was working on a massive project and would be slowing down his production of the creepypasta videos, as this project would take up the bulk of his time. This project would soon be called the Chalupa Cinematic Universe, or CCU for short, a series that would be co-created by Chalupa, Spooky, and Pydro. Each of these three would have an important role to the series, with Chalupa being the chief editor, Spooky being the head writer, and Pydro being the main animator. The pilot episode came out on August 7th, 2018, and although it didn't receive the same amount of views as his creepypasta videos did, it would soon gain a following even larger than any of them were anticipating, with each episode shortly afterwards racking up millions of views. While there were other indie web series at the time, such as Tom's World and Lettuce Fingers, the huge advantage Chalupa had was that it wasn't traditional animation. He made these episodes using PNGs, stock photos, and art made by Pydro, such as character stills and backgrounds. Because of this, each episode could come out much faster than the competition and would grow fast in popularity as a result. As of the time of writing this, there are 153 episodes of the CCU, and the story currently has 5 completed arcs, with the 7th arc being worked on at this moment. It's a really good watch in case you haven't seen it. I highly recommend it. I myself have been a fan since the Core 4 Civil War arc. Layer 2. Live streams. Before the pilot episode of the CCU was released, Chalupa did a couple of editing live streams to show the process of the episode. The live streams, garnering over 1,000 viewers, proved to be a success, and Chalupa continued to do live streams for years to come. He not only did editing live streams, but he also live streamed games such as Super Mario Universe, Giant Tumble, and Candy Crush. The VODs are still up, and they're all a pretty fun watch in my opinion. Mind of Kalen Beef. Mind of Kalen is a popular YouTuber with over 4 million subscribers. His content centers around the popular looting survival shooter game Fortnite. Interestingly enough, he isn't the one playing most of the time, but rather his older brother, Brian, also known by his nickname Rez. While Rez is good at the game, it's the banter he gives to his teammates that caused them to soar in popularity. Where Chalupa comes into all this is that he wrote them into an episode, parodying them. In the episode, Kalen was a mad scientist that invented Rez, sort of like a Frankenstein's monster parody, sort of. It's hard to tell. But the episode was up for 2 weeks before it was suddenly taken down from a copyright strike. Kalen then sent a series of tweets towards Chalupa, calling him a clout chaser. Chalupa responded with a satirical video on copyright infringement, clearly targeted at Kalen. So Kalen sent a couple more tweets before deleting them, with Chalupa deleting the satirical video. However, the CCU episode never returned. Before any speculations could start, Chalupa informed everyone with a tweet, telling everyone he and Kalen settled the beef. The episode still wouldn't return, but he was nonetheless compensated for the video. Since then, no one has ever mentioned it. Vlogs. Chalupa started uploading vlogs in 2018, saying he wanted to introduce a new format to keep his channel engaging. His first vlog being a satire on day in the life vlogs, where he does increasingly ridiculous things throughout the day. He uploaded more vlogs that were relatively normal, with things like buying groceries, going to a theme park, and some school vlogs as well. However, after the 14th vlog, they started to get a bit more strange. I would get more into it here, but there are entries going into detail on them down in the Iceberg, so I think I'll save them for then so we can talk about it later on. Horror Narrate-a-thon. On October of 2020, Chalupa briefly returned to doing horror narrations as a Halloween special, uploading 8 narrations in total, with one even being written by Spooky. He was even able to get Mr. Pilo, creator of Scary Month, to voice some of the characters in the creepypastas he read. While the event was a success, it was criticized for focusing only on creepypastas centering around the elite and secret societies and nothing else. People were hoping this would be an annual occurrence, but it appears to only be a one-time thing. Football enthusiasm. As the entry states, Chalupa is a huge fan of the sport football. He makes no secret of this, with several mentions of it in his videos and live streams. His favorite team being Chelsea FC, a football club based in London, England, with notable players like Didier Drogba, Luka Modric, and of course, Lionel Messi. Chalupa even posted a vlog of him attending the 2018 World Cup, watching the game where the US beat England 3-2 to land in 3rd place, where star player Daryl Hamlin scored the winning goal in the 91st minute. Chalupa himself was even invited to the Henchman charity match in 2022, but ultimately he declined. Layer 3. Bojinka Tax Joke. This entry focuses on a controversy regarding a joke Chalupa made in a livestream. It was Chalupa's first time playing World of Planes, and he was around 15 at the time. I think you guys see where this is going. He thought it would be funny to crash into a building while yelling. This was clearly making light of the Bojinka attacks, a terrorist attack conducted by Al-Qaeda, which saw several planes blow up, several planes crash into numerous notorious buildings across the United States, and even the death of Pope John Paul II. Being the largest terrorist attack in history, and causing the deaths of over 20,000 people, it's safe to say people were not happy with Chalupa. He very quickly deleted that part of the VOD, and apologized in a tweet, telling people he didn't realize how serious the subject is, and was only trying to make a joke. While I do think Chalupa never should have made the joke, we have to remember, guys, that he was 16 at the time, so making dark and edgy jokes like that was par for the course for teenagers. I mean, I would have said the same if I were his age. Oh, wait. Deleted 2020 VidCon vlog. This is the starting point of Chalupa uploading weird vlogs. The vlog in question here doesn't contain anything weird. In fact, it's just a run-of-the-mill VidCon vlog, with Chalupa meeting his favorite creators and fans. However, the video was taken down only 2 days later, to everyone's confusion. Everyone assumed it was a mistake, but Chalupa shut down those thoughts with a community post telling everyone that he deleted it for personal reasons. Now, there are many theories as to why it was taken down, with some saying that he had a bad interaction with the fan off camera and didn't want to be constantly reminded of that day. Others speculated that he just didn't want to do vlogs anymore, but that was quickly busted when he uploaded yet another vlog just 3 months later. Some theories got pretty wild, one of them even claiming that in the video, he was invited to a party by some millionaire, and at that party saw some messed up shit. Personally, I believe in the fan interaction theory, as this has happened to multiple YouTubers, with some of their fans gaining some sort of parasocial relationship with them, and in turn, they believe they're close friends. I wouldn't be surprised if this happened to Chalupa, and considering he was only 16 at the time, it's no wonder he'd want to delete the video. Hiatus and changes to the CCU. This entry focuses on a 2-month hiatus Chalupa took after the VidCon vlog, which confused everyone since there was usually a new episode every 2 weeks, and he offered no explanation as to why he took this. After the series returned, people also began to notice changes and retcons to the overall story. Some of these changes included fan favorite character Michael Bloomberg suddenly dying in an atomic explosion, the current arc at the time's final villains changing at the last minute, with it going from a group of skinwalkers to a high society cult commanding these skinwalkers, and also a change to Chalupa's character, where suddenly he's become very cynical of any and all high society figures, whether it be billionaires, national leaders, celebrities, and so on. This, however, was only the beginning of a tonal shift to the CCU, which is something I'm going to explore a lot later. Unlisted WWE videos. This entry focuses on something Chalupa admitted in a livestream, telling everyone he did not start YouTube with horror narrations, but rather WWE gaming videos. He deleted them not only because he wanted to switch up the content, but because these videos were, in his words, stupidly boring. According to him, the videos were just no commentary WWE 2K14 gameplay, so apparently no one is missing out on anything. At least I'm not. I've played the game before and I know. Layer 4. Tonal shift to the CCU. This entry focuses on the sudden shift to the CCU's overall tone. It happened after the hiatus, and because of that, fans have split the CCU into two eras, pre and post hiatus. Anyways, to understand a tonal shift, you'll need to know what the CCU was like before the hiatus. Generally, the CCU pre-hiatus was a more comedy-centered series with some serious moments. It also had plenty of filler episodes that were hilarious, with the core four, Chalupa, Spooky, billionaire philanthropist Obama, and Pete from Family Man getting into the wildest of shenanigans. However, post-hiatus CCU was a more serious series with a few comedy elements from time to time, essentially flipping the tone on its head. The filler episodes, which used to be common to see in the show, became very rare. To put this into perspective, the pre-hiatus CCU, which ran for a little over 2 years, had 16 filler episodes, whereas post-hiatus CCU, which has been ongoing since August of 2020, has only 7. People speculate why the sudden shift happened, and while there are some wild theories similar to the ones made about the deleted VidCon vlog, it's most likely Chalupa was just growing up and just wanted to see his content mature alongside him. Gang stalking Snapchat stories. Chalupa actually had a Snapchat that he posted somewhat frequently on, where he posted anything he felt like on it. But on July 20th, 2023, he posted a story of what seemed to be a group of men standing nearby his apartment complex, with the caption, "They've been there for the past 2 hours, what the heck is going on?" Weirdly enough, he posted a follow-up story about it 5 minutes later, claiming they left almost immediately after he posted the story, begging for it to just be a coincidence. Strangely enough, this wasn't the only time Chalupa would post about gang stalking, as just 2 months later he would post a story with the caption, "I know I'm not crazy." In it, we can see a photo of a plumbing van, which he's clearly insinuating is some undercover surveillance van. Just to be clear, I'm not here claiming these were real or not. Whether these were actually gang stalking events or not, that's all up to you guys. Spooky doxing incident. On November 11th, a tweet was posted from a now deleted account of what claimed to be Spooky's house. Some people thought it was merely a joke, until Chalupa verified it himself in a community post and started telling everyone to avoid looking up the photo and to report the user to Twitter. Weirdly though, the user in question made their account on the exact same day they doxed Spooky in what looked to be a throwaway account. Unfortunately, the damage was already done, as according to Chalupa in the livestream not long afterwards, Spooky had multiple fans arriving at his house, begging and sometimes even demanding for an autograph. The photo of his house was also saved and reposted several times, so it's unfortunately digitally immortal. For obvious reasons, I'm not going to show you the photo, and I really hope that everyone that's watching is not going to try to look it up. If you do, I'm going to kick you out of this gang. Chalupa's final livestream. On January 9th, 2024, Chalupa would post what would be his last livestream, unbeknownst to everybody watching. While the stream was for the most part the same as all the others, Chalupa at one point started to look like he was in a state of distress, before going back to focusing on the game. However, this portion of the livestream was cut out from the VOD for whatever reason, but fortunately it was saved and reposted. I'll let you guys watch the clip and see what you think for yourselves.
I don't understand why it had to be me. But it was. And they won't leave me alone for it. They won't leave me alone for being unlucky. I wish I was ignorant. Lord, I wish I was ignorant.
Layer 5. Chalupa's Disappearance. On February 2nd, 2024, the final CCU episode with Chalupa in it was uploaded. The episode, which was a filler episode, centered around the gang needing to go to the DMV. Nothing was wrong with the episode. However, by the next episode 2 weeks later, people noticed that Chalupa wasn't featured anymore, with the in-universe excuse being that Chalupa was on vacation. While it was a little odd, no one thought anything of it. That was until the CCU episodes kept on being uploaded, and there was still no Chalupa. It's also important to note that he stopped posting vlogs, the Snapchat stories, the live streams, and even the community posts. People, of course, were starting to get curious and concerned for Chalupa, asking Spooky where he was, and Spooky replied by saying he decided to retire, as he felt like he accomplished enough and wanted to enjoy his 20s, leaving the channel to Spooky and Pydro. Some were satisfied with this answer, wishing Chalupa a good life and a good retirement. Others, however, don't believe in this, stating he didn't hint at this in any way before he left, and that he would have announced it to everyone before retiring. In my honest opinion, while it is odd of him to leave that without letting his fans know, you have to think about it for a sec. If you were able to retire at age 20 with your whole life ahead of you, wouldn't you do it? Not to mention, there's no doubt he still earns royalties from his channel, so he'll never need to work again. I mean, if I were in his position, honestly, I would take that offer in a quick heartbeat. Spooky and Pydro are lying. This entry centers around a theory that, funnily enough, goes against everything I just said. The theory doesn't go into detail on what happened to Chalupa, but what it does focus on is that Spooky and Pydro are apparently lying about what happened to him. The theory claims that Chalupa retiring is way too convenient of an excuse, that something had to have happened to him, and that they're not going to tell anyone about it. What's interesting about the theory is that the people that believe it can't agree on what it is they're hiding. Some believe they killed Chalupa and covered it up so they could get more money. Others believe Chalupa was killed by the elite, and that's why there's no news articles mentioning it. But here's my take. Maybe, just maybe, there's no news articles because he retired, and a YouTuber's retirement isn't big news. And also, if they killed him, wouldn't his family speak up, telling everyone, the press included, about what happened? Guys, just grow up. Just let him retire in peace. 4chan Schizo Post. A 4chan green text popped up on the paranormal board, where the OP claimed to make art for a YouTuber. OP became friends with the YouTuber and his business partner. However, one day the YouTuber appeared before the both of them in distress, telling them he saw something he wasn't meant to, and that they might be persecuted. OP then goes on to describe what happened for the next few years, saying they were gang-stalked, doxxed, received calls from unknown numbers. Eventually, the YouTuber tells them if something happens to him, they should appear none the wiser so they could be safe before he disappeared, never to return. The OP ends it off saying he's scared, but he has to let someone know. I'm sure by this point you've all figured out that the YouTuber people have linked to this is Chalupa. But again, and I don't know how many times I have to say this, you guys just have to let him retire in peace. I don't understand why people are taking this post seriously. 4chan's paranormal board is notorious for creating the most elaborate fake stories and stupid creepypastas. Hell, the SCP organization originated from this board, but this one post about a YouTuber being persecuted by an elitist cult is proof of what happened? That's just dumb. Chalupa kidnapping footage. Please do not look this up. There's alleged video footage of Chalupa being kidnapped on the dark web, with the video allegedly showing surveillance camera footage of Chalupa walking to his car before being taken in an unmarked vehicle. And that's about all I can find. Honestly, I couldn't find the footage or anything, just a 4chan post saying it's somewhere on the dark web. Again, with the 4chan. I think the reason this entry says do not research is because there's seriously nothing to find. Seriously, guys, just don't research it. It'd be a huge waste of your time. And that's the whole Iceberg explained. I know I said this was the best possible one, and believe me, it is. The rest of them devolve way more into this lousy conspiracy theories, and we shouldn't give those people any more power than they already have. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any topics you'd like to see in the next one, just let me know in the comment section. With that said, I've been your host, Dogman, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace out, home dogs.
So, what do you think of it?
Chalupa, you're a terrible writer.
Man, do you know how hard it is to create a fake iceberg about a topic as niche as me? Let alone the fact that I had to do that in a couple of weeks? I wanted to do an alternate YouTube iceberg, but no, the topic just has to be centered around me, otherwise you won't watch!
Why didn't you just do an alternate webtoon iceberg?
How much do you think I read webtoons? I only read them for the videos. I am the last guy you should want for something like that. Hey, wait, where are you going? We're not done here!